Although it may come as a shock to many people, there aren't many things that I won't do as a disabled person. There are, however, 5 things that I refuse to do by myself as a disabled person. If you want to see my list, please stick around. Well, hello, my friends. It's Blemmy back with another video. I'm so glad that you could join me today. If you're new here, thank you so much. I really do hope you'll like what you'll see. You'll give this video a big thumbs up and you'll hit that subscribe button. If you're returning, thank you so much. I really do appreciate the support. Like always, please hit that thumbs up button to show your support. Okay, let's get started with today's video. For those of you who don't know me, hi, my name is Blemmy. I'm a 35-year-old woman who lives with spastic diplegia, cerebral palsy. If you want to see a video of how I walk and get around, I will link that down in the description box below. Definitely have a look at it so you can see a little bit more of how cerebral palsy affects me. I do want to say really quickly that these opinions are my own and they by no means reflect anybody else but myself who has a physical disability or cerebral palsy, as those things can vary greatly between people. Okay, let's get started without any more rambling on from me. 5 things that I won't do by myself as a disabled person. Like I said, I do a lot of things by myself. I'm a very independent person, which might surprise a lot of people. But there are 5 things that I could think of that I will not do by myself. In no particular order, number 1, I will not put myself into a situation where I know that I can't get myself out of. Let me explain a little bit further. As a physically disabled person, I know that I am not the strongest person and I physically could not defend myself if I needed to. Therefore, I will not go out for walks late at night. I won't go to shady neighborhoods by myself. I try to avoid all situations where I could feel physically threatened by another person. It scares me to think that I can't defend myself. Like, I know I have my cane and I could use that as a weapon. I do have other things at my disposal that I could use, but I know that I am not the most physically capable to do things like that. And so I try my very hardest, and I know I can't protect myself in every situation, but I try my very hardest not to put myself in situations where I won't be able to get myself out of. That could go for other things such as if it's a really bad weather out and it's snowing a lot of snow and I don't think my car can get through the snow without needing a push, I won't drive. If I know that I can't get myself out by, rocking my car back and forth, or it's really bad icy weather and I don't think that I can physically drive myself safely, I won't go. I won't let myself be stranded in a situation where I physically can't get myself out of. Does that make sense? I hope those examples make sense. There are a wide array of other examples, but those are just 2 of the ones that I have thought of. Okay, the number 2 thing that I will not do by myself, or ever for this one as a disabled person, if I can help it, is ride an escalator. Oh my gosh. Am I not the only one afraid of escalators? Escalators scare the living daylights out of me. They really do. I will insert a video clip of a photo clip of a book that my mom read to me as a child called I Used to Be Afraid. And this book was all about getting over your fears as a child. Well, as you'll see in this photo, I'll insert it now. This child is literally getting sucked up by the escalator. This had a lasting effect on me. It did. And I don't know if it would have if I didn't have CP, but just the thought of that running escalator, and I'll put a video clip in it now of the scary fast escalator we have in our area. But I have visions of me trying to step up on the escalator, but it takes time, right? Because you have to think about it, and then hoisting your other foot up, and then you're just taken by the escalator, and then you're on the escalator if you haven't already fallen off by this point, and you have to balance yourself on this moving sidewalk staircase and not have a spastic moment. And escalators scare me to no end. Funny story with an escalator. My brother and his girlfriend and myself were late for a connecting flight. And so my brother had sent his girlfriend off to like hold the plane. And so I was hanging on to my brother, and we were running through the airport. And this wasn't that many years ago. So I had my cane, and we were like going through the airport, trying not to miss our connecting flight. And then we get to this point where it was a giant staircase or a really fast moving escalator. And I didn't even think about it. I just went for the staircase because I'm not going to try to go on that escalator. And my brother was like, why aren't we going on the escalator? All these people are staring at me. They think I'm making you take the stairs. They think I'm a terrible person. And I said, you'd be a terrible person if you made me take that escalator. Anyways, I know that I'm not the only one who has these feelings about escalators, but if you also have a fear of escalators, please give this video a thumbs up. Write it down in the comments, your scary escalator story. I'm sure I'm not the only one. For a physically disabled person, escalators are terrifying. Okay, the third thing I won't do as a disabled person is, this kind of goes with my first comment a little bit, but I will not go out if it's really bad weather. And I'm not even talking about the driving thing. I'm talking freezing rain, heavy winds. I know that I don't have good balance, and I know that in inclement weather, that gets even worse. We have really strong winds here, up to 120K sometimes, 100K is more like it. And I'm a little person, and that can just blow me away. So I try my very best not to go outside if I can help it in weather like that. And in freezing rain, a story I have for when I was in college is I was on the bus going Christmas shopping. Actually, it was the same time of year, and I got off the bus and it happened to be freezing rain. And I didn't have that far to go from the bus to my apartment, but I did have to cross a section of the road. And I was crossing the road and I literally slipped and I fell. And like, you only have a certain amount of time to get across the road before the lights change, right? Well, I could not get my footing to get up. It was that icy. And I was like, oh dear, I'm gonna die right here on this road. And I couldn't get my footing up, and it was so scary. So I like started crawling across the road because like, what else are you gonna do? Luckily, this nice lady came and helped me up and helped me get across the road. And she even helped me from across the road to my apartment. Thank goodness for whoever that was. Probably saved my life that day. Really, I will never, if you're watching, whoever you are, I will never put myself in a situation like that again, where I cannot get myself from point A to point B. Like, that was terrifying. If it's freezing rain out, I will not leave wherever I am. I'll just stay put. It was that terrifying. That was like a good 15 years ago, and I'm still pretty traumatized by that. It was really terrifying. Funnily enough, that's not the reason why I'm afraid to cross the road. I've had more than one road traumas in my life, apparently. Okay, number 4 thing I won't do as a physically disabled person, and this is just good sense for anybody. When I was single, and I did a lot of finding first dates on internet platforms, I would always disclose my disability before meeting the person in person. However, after a date that I had before where I was not able to leave in an uncomfortable situation, I had vowed that I would never go on a first date again where I didn't have my own transportation. Now I do drive, so I am able to bring my own vehicle. But if you don't drive, take an Uber, take a cab, make sure you're not at the mercy of your date, because if it goes sideways, again, it comes back to not being able to defend yourself, you needing to be able to protect yourself and getting away and having that exit plan. I will not go on a first date without having my own transportation, or meeting somebody for the first time without having my own transportation. Now, funnily enough, that being said, I did go on my first official date with my now fiance, Rob, and he did bring his own car. However, in that situation, I feel it was a little bit different because I did not meet him online. I met him in person. So I did have kind of a sense of who he was and the situation I was getting myself in. But funnily enough, I broke my own rule for that very last first date. But I wouldn't suggest it. Always have your own exit strategy. Always have your own transportation. However that may be, if you don't drive, there's always an alternative to not be at the mercy of the person you're meeting. And number 5 thing I will not do as a disabled person anymore. And with the current situation with the pandemic, it's kind of a moot point here in Canada still, but I will not do buffets by myself. Buffets are evil for a disabled person who has problems balancing and walking. Trying to hold your plate, scoop the food, move over, scoop the food, move over, and then you get to the end of the buffet, you have your plate, and you got to get from the buffet to your table. It's the stuff nightmares are made out of. I will not do it anymore. I will not do it by myself anymore. If I'm at a buffet, which like I said, we don't have them here currently, I will ask for help for someone to move my plate, because it's just, and then with everybody staring at me, or I perceive them staring at me, it makes my walking even more rigid and even worse. Terrifying. Number 5 thing I won't do as a disabled person is eat alone at a buffet. Even if I am starving, but there's no one with me or no one that I know, I will not eat. Even if I really, really want to eat, I just won't do it, because I will not put myself in that situation. It's horrifying. Buffets are evil for people with disabilities. They're evil. Again, if you agree with me, give this video a thumbs up so I know that I'm not alone. Write your own buffet horror story in the comments. I'm sure, please tell me I'm not alone on this. Okay, so that is the 5 things that I won't do by myself as a disabled person. I bet you thought there'd be more than 5, right? I actually had a hard time coming up with the 5 things that I wouldn't do by myself, because like I said, I'm a very, very independent person. I'm lucky enough to be able to be that independent. Is there something that maybe you won't do by yourself as a disabled person? Write me a comment. I'd really like to know. Again, thank you so much for the support. If you like this kind of disabled cerebral palsy content, please consider subscribing, giving this video a big thumbs up. I know about half of you who watch me aren't subscribed, so please, if you're not subscribed, hit that button today. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps this channel out, and it allows me to continue to make this kind of content for you. I do still have my contest going on, where my first 1,000 subscribers, if you leave a comment in any of my videos, you will be entered into a draw to win a $50 Amazon gift card. Okay, that's it for today, my friends. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time. Bye-bye.